Hey there, welcome to JVIGTV. So today I want to talk to you about a topic that I've been hearing a lot in the podcasts and stuff that I've been listening to, and that is change. I listened to, and I still have to finish it, but I've been listening to a really great podcast yesterday with Oprah Winfrey and Gwyneth Paltrow, and it's on Gwyneth's podcast, Goop, and she did this amazing interview with Oprah Winfrey, and one of the pieces that they talked about was change. And it came in the context of some other pieces of their conversation. But for me, of course, I always think of everything in terms of fitness and health and wellness. And the idea that change is so hard for people in fitness, health, and wellness. And I believe that a lot of people, when they're starting their fitness journey, kind of look at, because there is so much information out there now, technology makes everything so accessible to us, which is amazing and yet intimidating sometimes. So it feels like fitness and health and wellness can be this vast forest of information and we don't even know where to begin. So instead of beginning, we just don't. And then there's also the folks who have sort of been doing the same thing for a long time. I see this all the time because I've been teaching group exercise classes for 17 years. I've been seeing the people come to my class at the Y for years and years and years, and I've seen them have zero change in their body. So I see people who have figured out sort of what they like in fitness and they don't want to change. They're so afraid of change. So you get these people who don't even want to step into the wilderness because it makes them uncomfortable. They don't know where to go. And you get these people who have sort of found a path and they don't want to deviate from the path. And then you get the people who have found the path. They don't want to deviate from the path, but they know there's a better path out there. And in their head, this is so unbelievable to me. But in their head, they think that by finding a new path, by reaching out their hand and asking for help, by saying, what I'm doing isn't really getting me results right now, I need some help. In their head, when they do that, they think they failed. And in my head, that couldn't be further from the truth, because I think if you're on a path and it's not working for you, to stay on that path is so dumb that anything else that you do is better than that. So when you reach out your hand and you say, okay, this path that I'm on right now isn't working, or I'm looking at this wilderness and I'm not sure where to go, I need some help. When you say that, what you're saying is, I'm so smart that I know I need help. I heard a great quote years ago, and I hear it in my head all the time. And it is, when you know better, you do better. When you know better, you do better. That resonates in my head all the time. Because I do believe that people look at this wilderness of health and fitness and they go, well, I just don't know what to do, so I'm going to do nothing. But when you know better, you do better. When you know that there's options out there, you do better. Or they get on a path and they've been on this path and they don't want to deviate from the path, even though they know there are other paths out there that might be better for them. When you know better, you do better. And they don't do it. Why is that? Why are we so afraid to change? I think it's ego, and I think it's ego saying that if we admit that there's something else out there, we have to say we're wrong. I don't understand that, because I think that couldn't be further from the truth. But also, who cares if you're wrong? Who cares? Back in the day when I was born, you didn't have to have a car seat to bring your baby home. And you didn't have to have a car seat to drive your baby around in the car. And my parents put me on the floor of the back seat of the car on some blankets and drove home. Can you even imagine that happening now? Can you even imagine? They wouldn't let you leave the hospital. But they put blankets down on the floor of the back seat of the car, put me down, drove me home. But when you know better, you do better. Now you have to have a car seat. It has to be certain regulation, has to be buckled in. Hospital has to see it before you can leave with the baby. It's not that my parents were wrong. They just didn't know. And now that we found a better way, we do it differently. So when we find different modalities of fitness, when we try different pieces of fitness, when we try different workouts or try different ways to eat, try different supplements, whatever they might be, it's not that we were wrong before. We're just better educated now. I used to teach like 12 or 15 classes a week. Can you even imagine that now? Like when I say it, I want to go, oh my gosh. I used to teach like 12 or 15 classes a week. I'd work out with a personal trainer twice a week, and I'd work out at home sometimes, and I did master trainings on the weekends. And then I'd wonder why I couldn't get results and why I was always sore. Overtrained much, you think? Yeah, for sure. Once you know better, you do better. I actually work out less now than I ever have in my life. I eat better now than I ever have in my life. I take really amazing supplements, more than I ever have in my life. And I feel better now than I ever have in my life. Because I was wrong then? No. That's just what I knew. And then I continue to educate myself and try different modalities and try different workouts and try different schedules and try different supplements and try different nutrition. And I keep getting better because when I know better, I do better. And what I'm doing right now will be different than what I do maybe 6 months from now. And that's okay because I'll know more. So I'll do better because I'll know more. So if you are looking at this vast wilderness of fitness and health and wellness and saying, well, I'm just not going to do anything, I'm going to encourage you to reach out your hand to someone. Just reach out your hand and say, you know, I want to start getting a little more healthy, a little more fit. I don't really feel great in the skin that I'm in right now, which has nothing to do with the number on a scale and everything about how you feel. I don't really feel great in the skin that I'm in. I'd like to do a little something different. Will you help me? I encourage you to do that. Reach out your hand, ask for help. So many people in your life, I bet, that would love to help you. And if you don't, just go on social media. You'll find someone who's out there walking this journey and that would love to help you. If you have been on a path for a certain amount of time and you've been doing this one path forever and you're not fired up to do your workouts anymore or you're not seeing results, I encourage you, reach out your hand and find another path because there are so many paths out there that you can take in this wilderness of fitness and health that will help you get results. And you have to understand that what worked for you a few years ago, a few months ago, maybe even a few weeks ago may not work for you now, and that's okay. That's called life. That's called life. There are so many ways to be healthy and fit. And I mean that mentally as well as physically. And so often, we as humans, and especially as females, hold ourselves back in all aspects of our life, but especially in health and fitness. We hold ourselves back. And our potential is so great. And the greatest sorrow is getting to the end of your life and wishing you would have done more. And knowing that you made it far more complicated than you had to ever make it, that it really is so simple. If we reach out our hand, if we understand that finding new ways, new paths, doesn't mean we were wrong, it just means we know better now. So we're going to do better. And we're going to continue to educate ourselves and continue to do better and continue to push ourselves because our potential is so limitless. We can do so much, not just in health and fitness, but in life. So reach out your hand. Embrace change. Understand that the cool part about change is that you get to be a beginner all over again, which means you get to feel that journey again, which is super cool. When I started cycling again after years off, how sore I was and how much of a beginner I felt. And now going into it and feeling so much stronger, that's so cool. But if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, you never get that feeling of accomplishment again. It's just rote. It's just comfortable. So get a little uncomfortable. Embrace that when you know better, you have to do better. And there are a lot of paths out there. And if you're looking at a wilderness of fitness, health, and wellness, you don't have to look at it by yourself. Reach out your hand. And if you've been on the same path for a long time, it's probably a path going nowhere. Find yourself a new path. Because even when that path is hard, when it's uncomfortable, when you have to be a beginner again, the views often are spectacular. Have a great day.